Welcome to everybody that's already gathered here. I'm sure we're going to get a lot more listeners, guys, because we are super excited about this episode of Ask Me Anything. Myself and Milky are hosting today UnoRe, and the representative here is no less but the CEO himself, Jas. So welcome. We're very, very excited and very honored to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here and talking about what we're about to do.
We really appreciate this because we do know you're a very, very busy person, and we didn't really have a lot of time to announce this EMA, but we're very, very happy about this. Obviously, we were very keen to get to talk to you. Myself and Milky were very we're fans of the project, and I'm sure Milky Chris will get to talk to about. He'll get to talk to everybody here about his passion for you shortly.
Thank you.
We will obviously be asking questions about the project, and down the line, anybody from the listeners, we will have a few minutes to get you guys to ask your own questions as well.
Okay, Jas. Well, thank you very much for joining us, mate. I know how busy you must be because of just what I know about UnoRe and what you're building and what you're delivering. So I was hoping you could just tell us a bit more about yourself on a personal level. You know, what your background is, qualifications, something like a brief biography.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me here. Thank you all the listeners to questions at the end of the spaces. A little bit about myself. So I'm both a crypto and an insurtech entrepreneur. I live in Dubai. I came here in about 2016ish, and while I was in my college, so what I was doing was I was pursuing a bachelor's in computer sciences engineering, and while in my second year, me and my co-founder Sujit, we both were entrepreneurs at heart always. So we just started like a development company, and we learned how to code, and we started helping insure projects basically build out smart contracts. This was 2017, 2018, and after that, when the bear market came in, you did not have any, I would say, DeFi usage at all, because all that was done was just smart contracts, and all that was done was just ICO smart contracts. No complex DeFi applications were built at that point of time. So we pivoted as part of our development efforts, because in the service industry, you have to give what services are in demand. And I consider that one of the biggest mistakes of my life is if I would have stayed in the space, obviously would have done things sooner. But I moved more into the AI side. I got a nano degree in artificial intelligence. I helped a few insurance companies here build their AI underwriting engine, so you can basically put in your nutritional information, your age, etc., and we would build a personalized code for you. It was used by the government, and then I entered the Dubai Future Accelerators. It's basically an entity set up by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, who's the Prime Minister of the country. So that allows startups such as ourselves to basically, the development company, to basically liaison with government entities to build technology for them. So we built technology for Emirates Airlines. That's the largest carrier here. We used AI to basically allow the cabin crew across regions to basically move and not, I would say, loosen out on their REM sleep, and they can also enjoy the, I would say, outdoors, where they're going. So if you're going from Dubai to LA, you're able to enjoy the LA outdoors, but you're also able to sleep within your REM cycle, and then come back to duty with I would say, fresh mind. Then we got another contract that was Etisalat. That's the AT&T of Dubai. So AT&T or Virgin of Dubai. And once we got that, we were tasked to build an insurance engine for them. So they wanted to sell insurance to the customers, and at the end of the cohort, we basically built the entire technology, and they asked us to look for an insurance company. The insurance company came to us and they said that we need to acquire your development company, and you'll have to join us as a CTO. At that point of time, I was like 22, 23 years old. I was the youngest CTO in the country of almost like a public listed company. And so I did my tenure for a year. That was what was required. And then I wanted to be an entrepreneur again. And I saw there was a lot of opportunity in the crypto space. I had background in it as well. I had background in insurance. So I thought, why don't Sujit and I, because we knew each other from the development company itself, why don't we go ahead and just build an insurance protocol? Because we saw a lot of hacks happening, right? We saw that there is like a clear solution. It's not a difficult solution, it's an easy solution. And why not, let's just build it. So that's what we did.
Awesome. So you pretty much covered a little, like some bit anyway, out of my question that I was coming to you with, why the project was started. But maybe you can go a little bit more into the depth of it, because it is a very interesting, obviously, what you guys are doing. And I think a lot of people are obviously, very conscious of their assets, and why the project was started, because we're talking about a very important thing like insurance here.
Of course. So think about it, right? This is about April 2021 when we launched Uno on Polka started. At that point of time, you had about 3 to 4 insurance protocols. There was Nexus Mutual Insurance. They are our biggest competitors. They do not offer coverage to a protocol unless and until you have 50 million in TVL, right? Or in insurance case, it's about 10 to 20 million TVL. And that did not sound very intelligent, right? I would say that sounds stupid, because most of the protocols are forks of each other, right? And if you're not able to provide insurance to a protocol which is a fork of a bigger protocol, and you could potentially charge them higher premium, it just didn't make sense. Like why would this be the case? And the reason that I identified this, because there was lack of competition in the insurance space itself. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to build an agile insurer, right? A retail focused insurer, which basically allows protocols which are sub 20-25 million TVL to basically get customized insurance policies, right? Because one size fits for all solution does not exist in any insurance, in I would say any insurance line. If you go ahead and you buy property insurance for an apartment versus a villa, you need different coverages, right? And that works for protocols as well. If you need an insurance policy for example, something like Terra, right, versus something like Uniswap, completely different, right? Even if Terra had smart contract coverage, they would not cover the DPEG, right? In the case of Uniswap, if they had DPEG coverage with this smart contract vulnerability, it would not be covered. So what we're seeing right now is we have about $60 to $70 billion in TVL still in DeFi, and less than, I would say, 0.1% of that is insured. So for us, we can do like a 200, 300x growth in terms of our insurance portfolio within a few months, right? Because that's how big the market is, and that's what we're going after, and that's what our competitors are not focusing at. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Milky, are you there with us?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. That's great. So I wanted to ask, when I first came across UnoRe in 2021, you were still a concept in development. Then Sorry, can you hear me okay?
I can, yes, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. Then I wrote a fundamental analysis report on UnoRe in April of 2022, and the growth was exceptional. I think it was over a 6-month period, and honestly, it astounded me. Before this AMA, I took another quick look at what you've been doing since April, and you haven't stopped. Can you just advise what your criteria are before you agree to a partnership?
So, for sure. So I would classify us as like in terms of our marketing efforts, we're like a medium to large-ish protocol, right? In terms of our Twitter following, our Telegram, etc. So within that, I would say the first year of our operations, what we've encountered was that a lot of protocols were doing an outreach to us, and they wanted basically. They said they wanted insurance, but what they actually wanted was a marketing partnership, right? So what we saw was of about 35 to 40 partners that we scored in terms of the partnerships. Only 14 to 15 of them were actually interested in an insurance policy post the announcement, right? So what we've done is we've made our obviously we also owe the growth that we have to our business development team, like the outreach, they make sure that we get good protocols, etc. But then since I would say April, we've made our partnership criteria very stringent, right? We ask for a premium payment before the partnership is actually announced, right? We key that in with a good PR opportunity as well for the entire protocol. And what we've also done is we know that a lot of protocols, they don't think of insurance as the first thing that they need, right? So what we've done is we've launched our affiliate program, and you guys are welcome to join in as well, the people who are tuning into the spaces. With our affiliate program, we're going to be equipping the people who are joining with DeFi knowledge and experience, right? How to identify a partner, how to identify what kind of insurance they need, and then to pitch an insurance policy. If you're able to score an insurance policy, you could virtually, at a minimum, earn $1,000 as commission. On top of that, you get recurring payment whenever premium comes in. So and the reason we launched it, because it's the bear market, a lot of people within the crypto sphere, they've lost employment opportunities. We wanted this to be one way where you help secure a protocol, you help get us a partnership, and we get an army of people reaching out to protocols and making them understand why insurance is so important.
Perfect. Thanks very much. Can you advise for the listeners how many partnerships you have in place currently, and how many you're in discussion with, just so everyone can basically grasp the scope of your ecosystem to date?
So we have close to about 35 to 40 partners right now, right? And these are insurance partners, right? I'm not counting. For example, we need Oracle partnerships, etc. That's not counted. It's just who are Uno's clients, right? That's what the answer is from my side. 35 to 40, and we're at any point of time we're in talks with at least. I'm not exaggerating it, but we're in talks with 60 to 70 leads all the time, right? And we're trying to make sure that we convert one of them, because the protocol is programmed to be deflationary as the premium rolls, right? We did a very big burn from our second quarter premium last month itself. That was 1 million Uno burnt, right? And that's what we need. We need to focus on this aspect itself. Like, we get more partners, we get more premium, basically everybody's happy. If the partner gets hacked, they have an insurance policy to back the protocol up, right? If they don't get hacked, we have a deflationary ecosystem which is growing.
Yeah,
that's awesome, Jazz. Thank you very much, mate. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
So, I mean, one of the things that I do as a fundamental analyst is, I look at all the nitty-gritty details. on your documentation, you've listed a wide variety of insurance and reinsurance packages that people can access. Not all are available at the moment. We're coming to the end of quarter 3 of 2022. Are you still on track to deliver your 2022 roadmap? And have you already started planning your roadmap for next year?
Sure. So we have some of our roadmap already live for the next year. That's number one. We are on track. Just to answer the small questions first, we are on track to deliver on the roadmap. We're currently working on the V3 version of our white paper, so that would allow index risk pools there. I'll talk more about it, but I really like the question about the insurance product. So we have 3 types of products that are live right now. The first one is a smart contract insurance, right? The smart contract insurance protects you if the smart contract of a protocol, that's as easy as it sounds. If the smart contract of a protocol is used for malicious purposes by an exploiter, right? So if you go to Uniswap, somebody figures out, and I hope this doesn't happen properly, it won't. Somebody figures out how to take money out of the LP pools without having ownership of that particular LP asset. That would be covered under smart contract coverage. Now, the second kind of product is called a DPEG coverage, right? I don't need to talk about it. Whatever happened with UST is an event which would be covered in the DPEG cover, but not covered in the smart contract coverage, right? And the third product is called the custodian cover. Now, the custodian cover are events such as Celsius Voyager, right? Where they are your custodians, and they basically say, don't give you your funds, right? They are the custodian of your funds, but your custodian has failed. That's where a custodian cover comes in. Now we're launching a 4th cover. I can't talk much about it, but it's linked to ETH 2.0 staking and validators, etc. So you have these protocols. I'm not sure if people know, but there's Lido Finance, there's Rocket Pool, where you can basically stake your ETH, and that ETH will then be staked in one of the validator sets, right? So that basically gives away with the requirement of the 32 minimum ETH that you need. And we're working on building a 4th product around this, right? Now, what happens, and this is the crypto side. I'll move on to the non-crypto side in a bit. But what happens more so when you're a DeFi user, right? You take advantage of something called composability. What's composability? Composability is basically you being able to stake assets in one protocol, and then use the LP token of that protocol to then use it across multiple DeFi platforms. So I'll give you an example. Curve LP tokens are highly composable, right? You can use Curve LP tokens on an LP farm, etc. Now, you do not have an insurance protocol which is built for composability in the DeFi space. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, if you're using Curve, you're putting some liquidity in Curve, you get a Curve LP token, and then you stake the Curve LP token somewhere else, right? Or you went to Aave, you put ETH, you borrowed USDT, you put that USDT in some other firm. Now, in this case, you need coverage against Aave, and you also need coverage against, let's say, Curve. If Curve is the LP farm where you put your USDT as well. This is only provided through UnoRe. So you can go on a cover portal right now, right? If you don't want to connect your wallet, you can just go drag and drop, right? Drag Aave, drag Curve, your strategy is covered. And most of the people in DeFi, they've been earning strategies. Like, you don't have one single vault where you put money. Most of the time you have to use multiple strategies, right? That's the crypto side. Sorry, I have to still complete the answer. I'm so sorry if I'm boring someone else.
It's all right, mate. The more information we get, the better it is for everyone who's listening. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
On to you, Marta.
That's very, very good, and thanks a million. But could you elaborate a little more into details further on the passive income side? So, what are the opportunities that are currently available through UnoRe DApp?
Okay, cool. So I'll answer this question in 2 phases, right? The first one being what I consider the definition of passive income, right? And the second one being how we draw parallels with a real insurance company. So in the cryptosphere, 2021, we saw maximum stimulus that came into the economy. Some of it flooded into the crypto market, which propped up the prices of some tokens, right? Now, what that gave rise to was farms where you basically stake your coins and then you get coins back, right? For basically no risk, right? So you put money, but then there's basically no risk associated to it. Now that's what is a definition of a classic Ponzi scheme, right? If you are staking your capital, you need to assume risk. If you're not assuming risk, then you are the APR, right? That's what first of all I want to clear. Now what Uno does differently is when you stake with us, right? It's a very clear-cut staking, single-sided staking program. You can stake Uno, earn Uno. Now the Uno that you're staking, you can stake it in SSIP, which is single-sided insurance pools, and SSRP, which is single-sided reinsurance pool. The reinsurance pool is very safe, right? The probability that we've calculated based on models, which can also which vary time by time, but the probability of it having a total loss is close to less than 1% in the SSRP. If you go stake in the SSRP, you get about 20 to 30% APR, right? Now, where does this 20 to 30% APR come from? That's one passive income opportunity. The Uno that you're providing is then used to collateralize an insurance policy, right? Not one insurance policy, multiple insurance policy. So if you have $1 worth of Uno, that would be covering $1, let's say, on Uniswap, $1 on non-correlated products. So if you're covering Uniswap on one side, we'll cover Aave on the other side, because Aave is a borrowing lending protocol, Uniswap is a DEX, right? And then we'll be covering Binance as a custodian and maybe an 2.0 staking cover. So you're covering $4 worth of risk from $1 worth of capital that we've leveraged across 4 insurance products. Now, each of these, I would say, products would then yield you about close to 4 to 6%. So if you multiply 4 by 4, which is 16%, 16 to 20%, you can earn that sustainably through leveraging your capital on insurance. Now, that's how basically we make this quote-unquote passive income real for you, right? You are assuming some risk, and it is the protocol's job to make sure that that risk is minimized. That's why these pools are, I would say, self-balancing, right? You stake in these pools. We make sure of managing the risk. So we've already paid out 2 claims. One is Umbrella Network. That was a pretty large claim, around $200,000. None of the LP providers were affected because the premium pool was large enough that the 16% that I'm talking about, the APR just paid out the claims itself. So nobody actually lost their capital. That's the passive income opportunity that I'm talking about. Now, moving on to the parallel to the real world insurance company. So I'm sure in the countries that the respective listeners reside in, you have banks which typically own insurance companies. Now, there is a reason to it, right? If there's say, let's say there's this AIG, and AIG is the insurance company, it's owned by a bank. Now, what usually happens is banks give out capital to the insurance companies, and insurance companies give capital to the bank that they get from premium, and the bank is basically collateralizing the insurance policies which they receive from their depositors, right? So the insurance company is providing an ROR of 10 to 12%, right? But the bank, on the other hand, right, would be earning 5 to 6% of that, giving out only less than 1% to their depositors, right? And we turn this model around, right? We are parallel to an insurance company, so you get the safety net of being a reasonably risk-free investment, right? You stake with us, and you are the first receiver of all the rewards that are coming from the insurance policies that you've collateralized. That's all.
Thank you very much, Jez,
Amazing.
mate.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that in-depth analysis. I think, especially how you differentiate, made the difference between the Ponzi scheme and your sustainable system staking and passive income. So, thank you again for that. And we ask a follow-on question regarding this. So when I've gone onto your DApp, because I personally, for disclaimer purposes, I am actually staking with yourself on the Aries protocol for that APR reward. But yeah, it is very nice, thank you. But so far, everything that I've seen on the DApp relates to staking on the ERC20 network. Will you be aiming to provide opportunities on the BEP20 in the future?
Yes, we will be. We're working on deploying our pools. Now, the reason that it's taking a bit more time is because we don't want our protocol to be fragmented across ETH and BSC. That's what usually happens. The BSC protocol would work differently, and the ETH one would work differently. What we want to do is, I'll give you an example. So if you have a borrowing and lending protocol on ETH and BSC, they manage their assets differently. Like they're two different protocols on two different chains. Now that basically messes up capital efficiency, right? Because you could have some assets which are in demand on one chain, the other one, I would say, are heavier on the supply side on the other chain. Now, what we do is we synchronize. What we're doing is we're working on synchronizing the entire protocol multi-chain. So you have, I'll give you an example. Let's say that in the near future, we cover USD peg. That's the stable coin of NEAR. I'm not saying we're doing it, we're not even underwriting it. I'm just giving an example, right? Now, because there might be the case that on NEAR or Aura chain, that's the EVM chain of NEAR, you might have a lot of demand for that particular stablecoin insurance, right? But because a lot of TVL has not come to that chain yet, you might not have a lot of staked assets there, right? So what if we have our protocol synchronized across all chains? You can have capacity that is coming from the staked assets of ETH and BSC, feeding into high demand insurance. I would say high demand insurance chains, right? The newer chains which need a lot of demand for insurance because assets are new, assets are riskier, etc., etc. So that's why it's taking a bit of time, because we want to, I would say, deploy an oracle which tracks capacity across all chains as a unit, not as fragmented assets.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, you did mention something there about Ponzi schemes and whatnot, and how you are different. So we're going to stay around the passive income opportunities a little bit longer here. Can you just go into a bit more detail regarding
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear you, Martha?
Yeah, sorry. So sorry, Jess. Could you just get into more detail regarding your tokenomics and how the rewards will be sustainable?
Sure. So a brief overview of our tokenomics are available on Medium, but a brief overview is that we launched last year, and we have a maximum vesting period of about 7 years in our tokenomics itself, and 31% of our entire total supply is dedicated for reinsurance and insurance, right? So those are just staking rewards that you're supposed to get. So we have staking rewards, and we're underutilizing them at the moment. So we have excess. So I'll give an example. We have released close to 30% less tokens than we are allowed to at this point of time, and our CMC supply is verified, so you can check that. So because we want to deploy it when there is higher demand of insurance, right? And that also, so we have, to answer your question, sustainable returns are there for the next 6 years. That's totally fine. The other thing that I wanted to bring into this was, obviously there are staking rewards, right? But right now we're at a time where we're net inflationary. So the premium that comes in, so last month was net deflationary because we had higher premium than the amount of UNO tokens that were emitted. But since the launch of the protocol, our net inflation has been going down because the net premium coming in is increasing. So the way it is calculated is, if the net worth of UNO tokens that are released as part of our staking program is higher than the premium that we've received, that's net inflation, right? And just to be clear, most of the protocols are completely 100% inflationary, no plans of even reducing this. We've been reducing this month on month, I would say week on week, right? And our plan is within the next 6 to 8 months to be net deflationary every month. So that would seem to lower the circulating supply if everything goes right every month.
Thank you.
You offer you have a deflationary mechanism built within in the tokenomics, mate. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. For people who may not be familiar with the term deflationary, basically means when you reduce the supply, but the demand is either same or greater, it increases the value of the product, or in this case, the token of UNO. So it would help push the price up. So that's what that means in a nutshell. Thank you again very much for that, Jas, for explaining that into detail for our listeners. So you offer a number of stablecoin DPEG insurance packages at the moment.
Yes.
Early this year, this included Terra's UST stablecoin. Were you able to honour the policy in full to the affected customers who suffered from that devastating attack? How quickly were the payments processed? Did it affect your liquidity in a substantial way? Did this cause any delays for the release of any planned insurance products?
Okay, so first question. We gave a USD DPEG cover and we did the claim payout within, I would say, a week, maximum 2 weeks, since the claim was registered, right? And there was no issues in giving out the payout. It didn't affect the liquidity at all. The reason it did not was because we have, I would say, our contracts don't allow for more than a few percentage points of a single product being utilizing the entire insurance capacity. So we have about 4 million insurance capacity right now. We make sure that it does, like, a single product does not go above a few 100,000. That's the answer to your question. So it didn't affect our liquidity, did not affect even the capital, affected the rewards by a very small percentage, so to say. So that's there. And the last thing that you asked was were there any products that were supposed to be launched? So yes, we were big on DPEG coverage, right? To be honest, we did not anticipate USD being DPEG, and a lot of people don't admit it, but like it was built on a Ponzi economic model. But like everyone else in the space, we did a lot of risk management. That's why we came out of it well. But we were thinking of launching more DPEG products, but the incident triggered more, I would say, stricter and stringent underwriting guidelines that were built in. So we slowed down the release of DPEG products. We only kept it to the fully collateralized coins. So you have USDT, USDC, BNP. You can buy DPEG coverage against that.
Thank you very much, mate. I think that would definitely give a lot of listeners confidence in your project that, despite how devastating the what happened to Terra's UST, it didn't affect your liquidity or capital in any way, shape or form. So thank you very much for that, mate. On to you, Marta, for the next question.
Actually, just before I go on with my next question, I'm just gonna, guys, remind you there are a few more myself and Milky want to ask Jas, but we will be taking questions from you because I've seen a couple of hands already being raised here. We will come around to that point, and I'm sure some of you want to. If you don't want to speak, you can either DM me or Milky right now and just pass on the questions. We're gonna just ask them at the end of the official part that we've prepared. So just considering, we're just going to circle around back again to the USD and what happened with Terra. So considering all that, what measures have you taken to protect the liquidity of UnoRe in the likely event USDC or USDT DPEG?
Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Considering what happened with Terra's USD, what measures have you taken to protect the liquidity of UnoRe in the unlikely event USDC or USDT depeg?
So I'll answer that question again in two parts. First is what we've taken as an insurance protocol on our product side. So we've made more stringent underwriting. We can weather an impact if one of those three that you mentioned defects. That's not an issue. It would not be a systemic issue to the insurance protocol. On the other side, we made sure to divide our runway between the three tokens, so DAI, USDC, and USDT. So we've given a variable allocation based on the trust that we place on those three stable coins.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jazz. So I'm just going to change the subject slightly. UnoRe has a number of partnerships with bridging and cross-chain protocols. Are UnoRe considering utilizing these services to make themselves multi-chain beyond ERC20 and BEP20 that you're currently on? Maybe even to non-EVM networks such as Algorand, Solana, etc.?
Yeah, so we've participated recently in the Kava Network grants program, right? So that's a Cosmos chain, and we've deployed there as well. We're part of the Builders program. We've also partnered with Router Protocol. It's a bridge backed by Coinbase and Alameda Research. We're also providing insurance coverage to them. We'll be releasing the note shortly as well on Twitter. Apart from that, yes, we do have. I would say plans to go beyond EVM chains. First, we want to cover the entire EVM network. So that would take on Cosmos, Kava has an EVM chain, Aurora has an EVM chain, and we also want to go into these new chains as well, Aptos and Sui. Those are built on Move, right? That's not like Rust, which is used for Solana, and it's an up and coming chain, which means that there will be a lot of demand for insurance on those particular chains. But no plans for Solana. It's just we don't see there's a lot of organic demand coming in from the insurance side.
Interesting.
Thank you very much for that, mate. So, Marta, are you okay? Is your audio and such working?
Yeah, all good. So I suppose a lot of people would be wondering about this one. If I wanted to get insurance coverage on my MetaMask wallet, how do I go about it? And how much does it cost? Are there any upfront fees?
Cool. So if you want to buy right now, just go to UnoRe.io and click on Get Covered. You will go to the cover portal. Just scroll down, and you will be able to see a list of protocols, right? And then you can basically search the protocol that you want insurance for. So, for example, if you've staked in Curve and you want protection against Curve smart contract vulnerability, you can buy it. You can select the amount of duration that you want. Usually the cost of coverage for the entire year comes to about 2% of the assets. So if you were covering $1,000 worth of assets, you would be paying $20 for the entire year. So that comes to less than like comes below $1.6, $1.7 a month, right? So that's there. It's very easy to purchase. You can just go, and you can also scan your wallet, to be honest, and it'll show you assets that are insurable.
Awesome.
That's a really cool feature, mate. I wasn't even aware of the ability to scan the wallet. That's really cool. I'm definitely going to have a play with that and have a look at that a bit later myself. So I was also wondering as well, should a project wish to seek a partnership with you, how would they reach out to you to start those discussions?
They can either PM me on Twitter, or they can reach out on our Telegram group, or send a DM to the official handle from which I'm talking right now.
Thank you very much. So if there's anybody from any projects listening at the moment and you're interested in insuring your product, you now know how to reach out to Uno to start those discussions. Thank you very much, Jazz. On to you, Marta.
I would say we should an affiliate program that allows them to basically go to the protocols, get them covered, and also like earn commission on those deals.
Thanks.
Marta, on to you for the next question.
That's my favorite question because I want to I anticipate the answer. But for all the listeners and anybody watching us here as well on YouTube, do you have any information or teasers that you can provide at this stage of your project's development? Anything that you could, share exclusively, or something that is worth at this point mentioning that's happening behind UnoRe's doors?
I gave a very big thing already about the 2.0 staking. So that's it. I'd like to talk a bit more about it. So when you're a validator on the ETH network, right, your stake can be slashed. What that means is if the node operator that you've put your money with, if because of some technical reason it goes down, your rewards can be slashed. So you're not earning the 4% for that particular amount of time. That's the APR. The second thing that can happen is if validator is involved in a malicious transaction, the stake can basically entirely go away or get cut in half or something like that. Right? That's something that we are insuring against, and that's something that's only being said in this particular spaces. Haven't made it public anywhere else.
Awesome.
Oh, we love it when projects do this, Jazz. Okay, so just a little reminder for our listeners, if you are interested in asking any questions of Jazz, we will soon be accepting questions, so please start raising your hands. In the interim, Jazz, is there anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't already covered with our questions, or what you just disclosed about the new staking protocol for ETH? Anything else at all that you'd like to add?
No, I'm good. I think the questions were very comprehensive. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to what the people have to ask.
Yes.
That's great, Jazz. Thank you very much.
So, guys, just
Marta, have we got anybody ready?
I don't see any raised hands, but I'm going just to check the DMs as well, because like I said, if you are shy to talk, but we would really appreciate, guys, if you actually came on, and that Jazz is very, very busy, so I'm sure it won't be quick before we get to talk to him again. It would be amazing if you guys took this opportunity and ask him questions yourself.
I promise, guys, we don't bite.
Can be honestly anything to do with the project or market. I'm sure Jazz has great experience that he would want to share with you. I don't see anything in my messages.
Yeah, I've got nothing in my DMs either.
And I'm just gonna real quick check, because sometimes people comment under the
tweet announcements. Yeah, of course. Let's have a quick look. I'll have a quick look myself.
No. Guys, don't be shy, honestly. I mean, if I was to think of more, because like you said there, Jazz, the questions were very comprehensive. I like to always approach any spaces, any questions like this from a new perspective, where crypto can be overwhelming and can be full of jargon that not I usually a new person coming into the crypto space won't understand. But I think you've answered everything so well. I think it's no brainer. 2% on a yearly scale. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it could really, go a long way. So I will definitely be looking to. I actually, just maybe on that note, where can you find the list of the assets that you are currently insuring? If I was to scan my, because I'm aware that it's not everything, it's not every possible asset. So is there a quick list where we can just go and check, or?
Yeah, so you can go on the cover portal, right? It's UnoRe.io/cover. And then we have about 90 protocols that we're insuring. So you can choose.
Oh yeah.
And you can also search.
So yeah, guys, anybody watching me on YouTube, I'm on the website right now, and I went into that part where you can actually just go and search all the protocols. There's 90 of them, and you can see them all there.
Oh, Martha, I've just had a DM come in.
Okay.
Question for you, Jazz. Have you got a price target that you expect Uno to reach in the next bull run?
I don't. I won't be commenting on the price, to be honest. It's just if we have these particular price targets that are set up, right? They're meaningless. We could go way beyond it or way below it, right? All I know is the entire model is built in a way where if the premium comes in, the protocol is just programmed to be deflationary, right? So I would rather focus on how much insurance policies do you want to sell right now. Our insurance portfolio is than our market cap, right? That's testament to the fact that we're undervalued, right? So I'm going to leave it at that.
I wholeheartedly agree that you are certainly undervalued. I believe that very firmly, Jazz. Just simply because you're a potential disruptor in this space, and I think that people aren't yet fully aware of the possibilities that you will bring. I think once people become aware, I think there's going to be a number of copycat protocols following your model, as we've seen with other projects who offer something new. So, the competition, I think, will also be good in the crypto space. But, the more security that there is, the more security and insurance that there is in crypto, the better I think everyone benefits. So, I'm excited for the future for Uno for sure.
Thank you.
I actually have, Jess, I have someone who's after asking a question. I just asked them for a little angle here because they want to know about insurance scams. And I'm just going to read it out the way it's written. So can you just ask about people trying to commit insurance scams? I'm sure some people would try it. If someone tried to claim on behalf, like they lost it when they really haven't. Yeah, I suppose, I mean.
So,
go on, sorry.
I get the question. So the beauty of the fact that we're in crypto land is because it's the fact that everything is trackable, right? And we do it very transparently. When the USD DPEG happened, we actually got 10 times the amount of claims than actual policies that were issued, right? So there were a lot of insurance scams claimed that we usually get, right? But the fact of the matter is everything is trackable, and we've done 2 claims at this point of time, which makes us anyways higher in than the other 13 insurers that are there in the ecosystem, which have done more than 2 to 3 claims. So we have claim reports that go out. The claim reports detail the loss event, right? So the event of the loss, how it happened, and then the payout that was done as well. So, and we also have measures in place such as a deductible on the policy, which makes it, I would say, not worthwhile for a person to commit scam.
I hope that answers your question. If there's any more you would like me to ask Jess, just write it into my. But I see we have.
I think we do have a request.
Yeah, we have.
Marta, and you are.
Can I speak now, Milky, if you allow me to? I have a question. Obviously, a lot of people here know that I'm a big fan of UnoRe. Obviously, Marta and Milky are good friends of mine, including Joss. And I think people would like to know that, do you have any other currency to stake other than Uno? I think a lot of people are now fans of staking, so that would be maybe a valuable information for people in the AMA to know. Maybe Joss, if you can touch upon that also.
Thank you, Noor. So that's a very good question. We actually have staking pools which are collateralized in USDT, USDC, ETH as well. So if you have any of those assets, you can earn 30 to 40% APR easily. Just go on and stake.
Yeah, it's like for me, for example, I believe I'm staking Uno for Uno on the Aries protocol, and I can't remember the exact figure because it's been a while since I did it, but I think it was above 50% APR.
Yeah.
So that just gives people an example, that there is some real genuine opportunities to hold and or hodl, as the term be, for long-term passive income, over for a long period of time. So yeah, it's brilliant. I absolutely love it, and it was so easy to do as well.
Thank you. We try to make our UX and UI, seamless. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Anybody
thank
else?
You, mate. Thank you very much. I've not had any further requests, Marta, unless you have.
No, I haven't.
No problem. Can I just the previous question that was raised about UnoRe price? Obviously, we are all in the bear market, and I know a lot of people because I'm in the UnoRe price chat and in the groups, in a lot of groups. I'm sure Marta is in couple of with me, and everybody's touching upon the prices. And I think this is a good opportunity maybe for people to understand how the price moves. The circulation of the token. UnoRe has been recently updated also on CMC, which is a big thing. A lot of projects have issues with that because they can't justify their circulation, their vesting. So this is a big thing, in my opinion, when you're looking at the price. And I think UnoRe at the moment is at a good point where you can accumulate and wait for the market in general to get better. Obviously, for projects in general, not just UnoRe, I would advise people to look at this stuff, whether the CMC is updated, whether the roadmap and CEO is transparent. As you can see, Joss is very vocal on his Twitter. He likes to jump on AMAs, very transparent about the project. So I'm not talking only about UnoRe. I'm just telling you where to invest your money in general. Obviously, do your own research. But these are some of the, I think, things that people who are investing their own hard-earned cash should look. And I would also like to, I think, put forward that the private sale for Uno is already done. So this gives you security that there is no more sell pressure, unwanted sell pressure. So that's done. And in my opinion, I myself hold a lot of Uno that was accumulated over a period of time since I started buying it in May last year. Mando, our good mutual friend, is also have a huge amount of Uno staked. I believe Marta is a holder, if you don't mind me saying it publicly, Marta. And I know a lot of people that are just holding it long term. So this is a hold. Obviously, now people are taking 40, 50% pumps, so they can just multiply the other holdings that they have of USDT or whatever it is. So I would advise people just to either take upon staking options, hold it long term, and see where the project will go. And I think the roadmap that Joss has mentioned during this AMA and the plans that Uno transparently speaks about, whether it's on the website, on the Twitter, on people who are supporting the project, I think it has a bright future.
Thank you very much for that, mate. I really appreciate that input there, mate.
I
No
just
problem
had
at all. Thank you for letting me speak.
I just had thanks, Nor. Honestly, I agree with everything you said. Just had another question come in, guys. So I'll just throw this in as well before we wrap it up, if you don't mind, Jess. Can you just ask how risky the staking pools are?
Sure. So, if you've read our the version 1 of our white paper, we do I've done mathematical analysis on the loss probability of each of those pools. So on the reinsurance pool, for example, the probability of loss is, it's a mathematical model, right? So like all mathematical models, it's based on assumptions of the particular, I would say, events in the market, events in the smart contracts, etc. It takes assumptions on security, but the reinsurance pool is not likely to suffer a capital loss event in more than 1.5% case of scenarios. So that's the loss probability on the reinsurance pool, and it increases as the APR increases. So if you're choosing a higher APR pool, that carries a larger risk as well, because that higher APR is generated from multiple products, right? So if any of those products goes bust, a part of the capital could be lost. And we've seen in the last 2 claims that that was not the case. The premium pool was large enough to provide backing, which it is now as well.
Thank you. I hope that answers your question. I don't have any more in my messages. Unless Milky, you have anything?
I don't have any more either, Marta.
I think we're going to, guys, come to an end. Usually we try and keep these under an hour. We're kind of coming around to that time. We're very, very happy to have you all, guys, tune in. And thank you very much, Jazz, for coming and answering all the questions.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely a brilliant chat we had with you. Hopefully in future we'll get to catch up again. Really happy with the answers and with the overall information that we all learned today.
Thank you. Take care, guys, and stay safe.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and yeah, thank you again, Jazz and Marta, and we'll catch you on the next AMA that no doubt we'll be doing soon.
Honestly, thanks again, guys. Thanks, Nora, as well, for chipping in with your amazing summary. And guys, we'll be around again shortly, I'm sure, with another amazing EMA. So stay tuned and have a great the rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk soon, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.